Hello there, welcome back to Stripe's Talking Points. Of course, everyone out there should already know that the nothing bomb of the Muller investigation report has been handed down, and all news is frantically trying to claim victory or push new conspiracy theories. And at this point in time, you must concede, I think a reasonable person must concede, that most of the stuff going on in the Mueller investigation has been a huge conspiracy theory between the U.S. government and Russia, president-elect and Russia, election committees in Russia, and mainstream media has forcibly pushed this narrative for so long that at this moment in time, they're going to have to double down and continue to push it. And I want to show you what I've found very easily just by reading a lot, learning, and trying to keep track of this over time. Mueller told the DOJ weeks ago that he would reach no collusion on obstruction. Now, once Mueller investigation found there was no collusion, active collusion with Russia for the campaign, that would automatically eliminate the possibility that there was collusion on the firing of James Comey. James Comey is someone who leaked confidential secret government information about an investigation to the press to help destroy campaigns. And then, actually, if you don't remember, right before the election, he did the press conference where it broke down that the reopening of the case into Hillary Clinton, and then the clandestine meeting of his partners on the tarmac of an airport with Bill Clinton, at which time, shortly thereafter, the investigations were dropped. Comey has looked like a very bad person to have in charge of the FBI for a very long time, and Trump fired him, got rid of him, because that's kind of the role of the president. This person has been actively disrupting the nation and trying to align himself politically to be more powerful and in the future than he was at the time, which head of the FBI I would think would be a pretty powerful position, but Comey wanted to be publicly more powerful and able to, I'm assuming, earn more money. Now, 5 people sentenced to prison, 1 person convicted at trial, 7 people pled guilty, 37 people and entities charged, and 199 criminal counts. Now, of these, we're going to look at the ones which are on here, and this will be pretty quick. A Russian troll farm charged with distributing Russian propaganda. Now, this troll farm sounds terrible to anyone who doesn't know what a troll farm is. These people were just promoting things on both sides of the political spectrum. They were producing stuff for Black Lives Matter. They were also supporting a thin blue line. They ran anti-Trump rallies. They ran pro-Trump propaganda as well. This is typical state activity these days. Anyone who doesn't know, the U.S. supports the opposition in Venezuela. We also are trying to intervene in dozens of countries. During the Obama era, we were sponsoring state spying in Germany, in Russia, in the EU, in Britain, all these countries. This is always going on. It is a matter of fact that states try and spy on and influence other nations' elections. I personally have done at least 3 videos, all related to the amount of money that is spent in the U.S. lobby, and it is outrageously high. So we're going to go first off, Russian spies charged with stealing Democratic emails. This is the thing where we learned that Hillary Clinton had not actually won the Democratic DNC primaries on her own. She had been using members of the DNC and members of her own party to push out the upstart Bernie Sanders. I believe that if we had had a Bernie Trump election, results would have been very different than they were against the Trump Hillary. Hillary lost her own primaries. Russian spies hacked this. They tried to hack the Republicans. Failed. However, with this right here, you see that Hillary Clinton was done. Next, Paul Manafort sentenced to 7.5 years in prison for financial crimes. Basically, Paul Manafort, they're going to say a pro-Russia political party in the Ukraine, a country which was invaded by Russia and has had a large portion of its territory taken along the Black Sea, lying to banks to get loans, all kinds of stuff. Basically, he was trying to work with another country, found it would make him wealthy and add to his prestige. All of these things happened before you have the Trump campaign. So this right here is just a person being found to be basically a foreign agent, a pro-foreign country, and only because it is Russia, not Russia directly, but Ukraine, is he found guilty, and this all came out. If they would ever do this on some of the Arab countries or anywhere in the Middle East or in the Asia, I believe you would see a ton more of these things come out. It's just my personal belief. If you look at the amount of money spent in the U.S. election by foreign groups, again, I've covered that topic at length. Flip through the videos, you'll see them. It's crazy. Konstantin Klemenik, charged with obstruction of justice. On the other side, this is one person they believe has ties to Russian intelligence. This is just more of the people in our country trying to get involved in our elections, get stuff done, spreading any kind of information they can. Roger Stone. Roger Stone is currently up on charges for lying to Congress. He's trying to write a book, and judges are trying to silence him from speaking out. This man here cracks me up, though. He is literally doing the full Nixon. Those of you who don't know who Nixon is, president who in the 70s there, who was pulled out because he was recording and trying to use blackmail against people, and that is the original Watergate. Well, everything now has the gate behind it, Russiagate, Whitewater, all these different things. Whitewater is a terrible example. Anyway, this is where his stance comes from. He is still going up. Contacts to WikiLeaks, lying to House Intelligence Committee. The WikiLeaks thing is an interesting one because you see this one told over and over and over again when pretty sure it's already been proven at least 3 times that the WikiLeaks information came to the Trump campaign after it was released publicly, and Roger Stone and Trump Jr. are just ones who pulled it up. Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn pled guilty to lying to investigators. Foreign policy advisor on the Trump campaign. So the foreign policy advisor on the presidential campaign and the presidential transference and the first national security advisor was reaching out to foreign governments as the presumptive, as the Republican nominee for presidency. This person was reaching out. He pled guilty to lying to the FBI about conversations with then Russian Ambassador Sergei Klasyov and agreed to cooperate with the investigation. So a general was talking to someone he knew. They found out about it. It's bad. Rick Gates lying to investigators. So he's already been found out. The information is done. Former Trump personal lawyer. This guy here, tax, bank fraud, campaign finance violations, lying to Congress. This is a lawyer who, rather than get fired, decided to lie to Congress, do all these things because that's all he knows how to do. He's lied to Congress, went back to Congress, tried to talk about stuff, and of course fell apart. Papadopoulos, who's actually already under investigation and sort of a plant beforehand by the government into the campaign trying to do this. Very interesting. He pled guilty to lying to investigators and was sentenced to 14 days in prison, a year in probation. Yeah, see, all of these things are these tiny little things that are getting hit up for. A Dutch citizen who lied to investigators. 6 months in prison for identity theft. Registering as a foreign lobbyist. Which country? The Ukraine, a country that Russia has invaded and taken part of it over during the Obama administration. All of these things you see violate lobbying laws. $500 million a year is spent in the U.S. by foreign governments lobbying our government. However, none of those matter because they're not Russia. Just this matters. Mueller's team also referred to 3 high-powered Washington insiders to federal prosecutors in New York are investigating into violations of foreign lobbying. Former Obama administration, White House counsel Craig, former Republican Rep. Vin Weber of Minnesota, and Tony Podesta, brother of Clinton's campaign. They have not been charged. So, lobbying things, you've got Clinton's Democratic, you've got Obama in there, and you've got a Republican rep from Minnesota. Yeah, great. That is the breakdown for this for everyone out there who doesn't know. And now they're just continuing to spin this story. Key witnesses won't turn over documents unless Trump approves. Most of this thing is just continuing the fake news cycle. They cannot and will not let this go in the mainstream media. This report was from Time, of course. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but it's at the top there the whole time. Anyway, this is Rep 1. I actually have another one which is actually going over this main article. Trump presidency enters a new era. I want to cover that next, and it's going to be a much shorter video, I hope, under 15 minutes, but there you go. Muller Report comes out, and the spin begins all over the place. Actual charges, most of them are bare minimum, came from before the action, or are just being mislabeled to make you think they are more than they really are. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day. Please like and comment on the video. I really do want to know what people think, so it gives me something to work with. Goodbye.